You sleep peacefully in a bed of delusions, wrapped in the warm blanket of a lie, so seductive that you've mistaken it for truth. You believe, no, you need to believe, that goodness is rewarded, that fairness prevails, that honor elevates you above the savage machinery of power that grinds lesser mortals to dust. But tonight, as you stare at the ceiling in the darkness of another failed ambition, another stolen opportunity, another victory claimed by someone who deserves it less but took it more decisively, you feel the first crack in your beautiful illusion. The world doesn't operate on the principles you were taught. It doesn't reward virtue with victory or crown, the righteous with power. While you played chess with honor, they played war with cunning. While you built bridges, they built weapons. While you sought to be loved, they chose to be feared. The comfortable lie has kept you warm, but it has also kept you weak, and weakness in the court of power is the only unforgivable sin. You showed mercy when the moment demanded steel, and now you wonder why your enemies multiply while your allies disappear. Every act of forgiveness you performed was interpreted not as strength, but as weakness. Every second chance you granted became proof of your exploitability. Machiavelli understood what you refused to accept. Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. Your mercy created contempt, not gratitude. Your compassion bred boldness in those who should have been trembling. Watch them now, those you spared, those you forgave, those you treated with gentle hands when they deserved iron fists. They sit in positions that should have been yours, wielding influence that should have been your inheritance. Your mercy didn't make you Christ, it made you a casualty. The ruthless understand this fundamental truth. Punishment must be swift, decisive, and memorable. When someone crosses the line, you don't draw another line, you erase them from the game entirely. When someone betrays your trust, you don't give them another opportunity. You make them an example for others who might consider following their path. Your competitors learned this lesson while you were still believing in rehabilitation. They learned that swift, crushing retaliation creates the kind of fear that prevents future betrayals. They learned that being too merciful is indistinguishable from being too weak. Every kindness you showed to those who deserved severity became intelligence in their war against you. They catalogued your compassion as weakness, your forgiveness as exploitable territory, your mercy as proof that crossing you carries no real cost. The crown belongs to those who understand that mercy is a luxury only the powerful can afford, and even then only when it serves their strategic interests. You gave mercy from a position of weakness, and weakness offering mercy is just surrender, wearing a noble mask. Stop confusing your fear of confrontation with moral superiority. Stop telling yourself that your inability to punish is actually unwillingness to do harm. The harm is already being done to you by those who interpreted your mercy as an invitation to take more. The choice is binary. Either you become ruthless or you remain a victim. There is no third option. You treated business like friendship and friendship like family, until both became the rope that now tightens around your throat with every breath you take. In your desperate need for connection, you confused allies with friends, transactions with relationships, strategic partnerships with emotional bonds. You shared your vulnerabilities like they were gifts, not realizing you were handing out weapons to those who would eventually turn them against you. Every confidence you revealed became intelligence in their arsenal. Every weakness you disclosed became a pressure point they would later exploit. Every strategy you shared became their blueprint for your destruction. They listened to your dreams and turned them into their goals. They absorbed your methods and refined them into your competition. They studied your failures and avoided them while you repeated them. You thought you were building relationships. They were conducting reconnaissance. The ruthless understand that information is power, and power shared is power lost. They maintain strategic opacity while encouraging you to be transparent. They remain mysteries while you become an open book. They ask questions while revealing nothing. They listen while you confess. Watch how they operate. They never show their full hand. They never reveal their complete strategy. They never expose their deepest fears or greatest ambitions to anyone who hasn't proven their loyalty through blood, not words. They understand that mystery creates respect, while transparency breeds contempt. Your openness wasn't authenticity, it was strategic suicide. Your vulnerability wasn't strength, it was reconnaissance for your enemies. Your honesty wasn't nobility, it was intelligence gathering for those who would use it to surpass you. They know your triggers, because you told them. They know your weaknesses, because you confessed them. They know your plans, because you shared them. They know your limits, because you explained them. You gave them the map to your destruction and wondered why they found their way to your throat so easily. Friendship in the realm of power is a luxury that must be earned through proven loyalty, demonstrated value, and consistent alignment of interests. Everything else is just networking disguised as affection, strategy wrapped in warmth, calculation dressed as care. The harsh truth cuts through your romantic notions. Those who rise to power understand that everyone is a competitor until proven otherwise. Everyone is a potential threat until demonstrated to be otherwise. Everyone is temporary until they prove their permanence through action, not words. You built bridges to people who were always planning to burn them. Stop being surprised when the flames reach you. They can smell your need for approval like predators detect fear, and they circle accordingly, waiting for the moment when your desperation makes you most exploitable. Every time you seek validation, every instance you pause for consensus, every moment you apologize for your ambition, you broadcast your weakness across frequencies only the ruthless know how to read. You ask permission when you should be taking action. You seek approval when you should be commanding respect. You explain when you should be deciding. You justify when you should be executing. Your hesitation isn't thoughtfulness, it's paralysis wearing the mask of consideration. The ruthless never ask for permission because they understand that asking for permission is already admitting you don't deserve what you're requesting. They don't seek approval because approval seeking is the behavior of children, not leaders. They don't explain their decisions because explanation implies that their judgment is subject to debate. Watch how they move through the world. They state their intentions as facts, not proposals. They announce their decisions as conclusions, not suggestions. They establish their boundaries as laws, not guidelines. They communicate their expectations as requirements, not requests. Your need for consensus is killing your momentum. Your desire to be liked is destroying your ability to be respected. Your compulsion to explain yourself is undermining your authority before you even attempt to exercise it. Authority doesn't explain itself. It demonstrates itself through decisive action. They see how you flinch when challenged. They notice how you soften when confronted. They observe how you retreat when pushed. They catalogue every apology, every backtrack, every moment of self-doubt as evidence of your exploitability. Your competitors understand that power vacuums are filled by those bold enough to step into them, not by those polite enough to wait for an invitation. While you're asking if it's okay to want something, they're already taking it. While you're wondering if you deserve success, they're already claiming it. The need for approval is the invisible chain that keeps capable people in subordinate positions. It's the psychological prism that traps potential leaders in follower mentalities. It's the weakness that transforms strong people into strategic servants of those who never question their right to lead. Ruthless men don't wonder if they deserve power. They take it and make others wonder if they deserve to challenge it. They don't question their right to success. They claim it and make others justify their right to compete. Your need for approval is their weapon against you. Stop handing them ammunition and start taking what's already yours. You mistake transparency for authenticity, not understanding that showing all your cards is the fastest way to lose the game you didn't even realize you were playing. While you reveal your emotions, expose your strategies, and confess your weaknesses in the name of being real, your rivals maintain the strategic opacity that keeps them powerful, unpredictable, and ultimately superior. Every emotion you display becomes data in their psychological profile of you. Every reaction you show becomes a button they know exactly how to push. Every vulnerability you share becomes a pressure point they can exploit when they need you compliant, desperate, or defeated. You think transparency builds trust, but it actually builds contempt. People don't respect what they can completely understand and predict. They respect what remains mysterious, powerful, and slightly dangerous. Your openness doesn't make you trustworthy. It makes you controllable. The ruthless understand that power requires mystery. Authority demands distance. Leadership needs the strategic withholding of information that keeps others guessing, wondering, and ultimately subordinate to your unpredictability. Watch how they operate. They never fully explain their motivations. They never completely reveal their methods. They never entirely expose their emotional state. They maintain the kind of controlled inscrutability that makes others work harder to understand them, predict them, influence them. While you're writing emotional confessions on social media, they're crafting carefully controlled public images. While you're sharing your struggles with anyone who will listen, they're only revealing struggles that serve their strategic narrative. While you're being vulnerable and authentic, they're being powerful and unreachable. Your transparency isn't making you more human, it's making you more exploitable. Your authenticity isn't creating deeper connections, it's providing your competitors with detailed intelligence about how to manipulate, outmaneuver, and ultimately defeat you. They know your triggers because you've described them in detail. They know your fears because you've confessed them publicly. They know your desires because you've written poetry about them. They know your weaknesses because you've turned them into your brand of relatability. Information is power, and you're giving it away for free while they're hoarding it like strategic weapons. You're creating detailed instruction manuals for your own manipulation, while they maintain the kind of strategic ambiguity that keeps them in control of every interaction. The harsh reality cuts through your romantic notions about authentic living. In the court of power, those who reveal everything control nothing, while those who reveal nothing control everything. The ruthless understand that loyalty is a transaction, not a gift. It's an investment that must generate returns, not a donation to people who haven't earned it through demonstrated value. They give loyalty only where it creates strategic advantage, builds powerful alliances, or generates measurable benefits. You give unconditional loyalty to those who offer conditional support. You provide unwavering dedication to those who waver at the first sign of pressure. You offer consistent defense to those who offer inconsistent allegiance. This isn't honor. This is strategic suicide disguised as virtue. Watch how they distribute their loyalty. They invest it in those who have power to elevate them, influence to protect them, resources to benefit them. They withdraw it from those who can't reciprocate, won't reciprocate, or haven't proven their ability to reciprocate through concrete action. Your loyalty makes you a tool in their hands, not a player in the game. When you offer loyalty without requiring proof of worth, without demanding reciprocity, without establishing conditions, you transform yourself from a valuable ally into a useful servant. They test loyalty before they reward it. They observe dedication before they return it. They watch consistency before they trust it. You give first and hope for reciprocity later, which is why you're always disappointed, always betrayed, always wondering why good people finish last. The harsh truth about loyalty in the realm of power: it must be earned through demonstrated value, proven through consistent action, and maintained through continued mutual benefit. Everything else is just emotional charity that weakens you while strengthening those who receive it without reciprocating it. You defend their reputations while they remain silent about yours. You protect their interests while they pursue their own. You sacrifice your advantages to benefit them while they accumulate advantages at your expense. This isn't noble. This is the behavior of someone who has confused weakness with virtue. Ruthless men understand that loyalty flows towards strength, not away from it. People are loyal to those who can protect them, advance them, benefit them. They're not loyal to those who need protection, require advancement, or seek benefit. Every insult you absorbed without retaliation became proof of your exploitability. Every disrespect you swallowed without consequence became evidence of your weakness. Every boundary you allowed to be crossed without punishment became an invitation for further degradation. Your silence wasn't wisdom. It was surrender disguised as restraint. You chose peace when the moment demanded war. You chose tolerance when the situation required punishment. You chose understanding when the offense called for swift, decisive retaliation. They tested your limits and found none. They pushed against your boundaries and discovered air. Every time someone crossed your line and you did nothing, you moved your line backward. Every time someone disrespected you and faced no consequences, you taught them that disrespecting you was acceptable. Every time someone took advantage of your good nature and encountered no resistance, you trained them to see you as prey, not predator. Your tolerance created contempt, not gratitude. Your patience bred boldness, not respect. Your restraint generated aggression, not appreciation. You thought you were taking the high road, but you were actually digging your own grave with the shovel of misplaced virtue. They observe how you respond to challenges, insults, disrespect, betrayal. They catalogue your reactions or lack thereof as intelligence about your exploitability. They test you with small violations to see if you'll enforce consequences, and when you don't, they escalate to larger violations. The silence that should have been strategic became systematic. The restraint that should have been selective became universal. The patience that should have been calculated became pathological. You turned non-retaliation into a personal brand, not realizing that brands can be exploited by those who understand their weaknesses. Ruthless men choose their battles, but when they choose to fight, they fight to win completely, decisively, and memorably. They understand that reputation for swift retaliation prevents more conflicts than reputation for endless patience creates. Your silence taught them that crossing you carries no cost. Your patience showed them that disrespecting you yields no consequences. Your restraint proved that betraying you results in no punishment. You trained your enemies to see you as safe to attack. The weapon you never used became the weapon they used against you. Your silence became their sword. You've constructed a comfortable prison from your own moral constraints, complete with bars made of principles you refuse to bend and walls built from values that prevent you from reaching what you want most. While you serve your sentence of self-imposed limitation, our moral men claim the kingdom that exists just beyond your cell door. You tell yourself that playing fair is noble while they rewrite the rules in their favor. You convince yourself that integrity matters while they accumulate power through strategic ruthlessness. You insist that character is destiny, while they demonstrate that cunning is conquest. Your principles have become your chains. Your values have become your weakness. Your morality has become the very thing that separates you from the life you claim to want. You've created a beautiful, elaborate justification for why you can't have what they're taking with both hands. The ruthless understand what you refuse to accept. In the game of power, there are no referees, no fair play rules, no consolation prizes for good intentions. There are only winners and losers, predators and prey, those who take and those who are taken from. They don't break the rules. They operate in the spaces where rules don't exist. They don't cheat. They play a different game entirely. They don't compromise their integrity. They define integrity as doing whatever it takes to achieve their objectives. While you're debating the ethics of ambition, they're actualizing ambition through strategic action. While you're questioning whether you deserve success, they're already successful and questioning whether their competitors deserve to survive. While you're paralyzed by moral considerations, they're liberated by moral flexibility. Your prison is comfortable because it protects you from the discomfort of taking decisive action. It shields you from the responsibility of wielding power. It insulates you from the guilt of winning while others lose. But comfort is the enemy of greatness, and your comfortable prison is the reason they're ruling while you're serving. The harsh truth cuts through your romantic notions about virtue and vice. The world doesn't care about your good intentions, your pure heart, or your noble ideals. It only respects results. Power respects power. Success recognizes success. Achievement acknowledges achievement. Your moral constraints aren't protecting anyone, but your enemies. Your ethical limitations aren't preserving virtue. They're preserving your position as a subordinate to those who have no such limitations. Your principles aren't making you better. They're making you weaker. Either you unlock your prison and join the game, or you remain locked inside while others play for keeps. The key is in your hand. The moment of truth stands before you like a doorway between two different lives. On one side lies everything you've known, the comfortable illusions, the noble failures, the beautiful justifications for why you don't have what you want. On the other side waits everything you've avoided, the uncomfortable truths, the necessary ruthlessness, the strategic calculations that separate winners from losers. This isn't a choice between good and evil. That's another comfortable lie designed to keep you passive. This is a choice between power and powerlessness, between sovereignty and subservience, between ruling your own life or watching others rule it for you. The ruthless didn't become ruthless by choice. They became ruthless by necessity. They understood what you're only now beginning to glimpse, that niceness is not a strategy, fairness is not a weapon, and mercy is not a shield. They learned that the world doesn't operate on the principles you were taught, and they adapted while you remained rigid. You can continue to believe that good things come to good people, that hard work is always rewarded, that virtue eventually triumphs over vice. You can maintain your beautiful, expensive delusions while they claim everything you thought would eventually be yours, or you can accept the harsh mathematics of power. Those who are willing to do what others won't, get what others can't. Those who understand the game, win the game. Those who play by different rules, make the rules. The choice is yours, but the consequences are inevitable. Either you become ruthless, or you remain a casualty of those who already have. Either you join the ranks of those who take, or you remain among those who are taken from. The comfortable lies have served their purpose. They've brought you to this moment of recognition. Now they must be discarded like training wheels that once helped but now hinder. The truth is harsh, but the truth is also liberating. It's also the only foundation upon which real power can be built.